After writing 2 transformational books myself and supporting many other beings to do the same, I've become enthralled by the deep and mysterious magic that's activated when we choose to say yes to ourselves and commit to the book writing journey. Of course, we want to inspire change and new perspectives in our readers, but the transformation that happens as an author, both throughout the writing process and by actually releasing your book into the world, is surprisingly potent. I know I've been blindsided in the most disruptive and delicious ways by some of the changes my books have brought into my life. Writing a book is like casting a spell. Although we can never be completely sure what's going to be unleashed during the process, we choose to do it anyway. This Unbound one is a heroic journey. Each book has the potential to be a magical portal, a doorway to a new world, both for you and your reader. Each book has a very specific medicine that it's here to share with us. And each book gives us the opportunity to alchemize the magnificent imperfection of our experience into gold. The truth is that anyone can write a book. We could all get a few thousand words down and put them together. But what fascinates me is what happens when we allow the book writing process to go deeper. When we say, fuck it, get naked and dive way down beneath the surface. Letting go of the shoulds and any need to be acceptable, sensible, or approved of. What fascinates me is what happens when we make ourselves fully available to being transformed by the very act of writing a book. This is Unbound Writing, and this is the process we'll be exploring together here in the Unbound Writers Club. I'm Nicola, author and founder of the Unbound Press, and I help magical beings to write the transformational book they're really here to write at this time. I'm your guide here in the Unbound Writers Club, and the aim of this podcast is to help you to feel supported, encouraged, activated as you embark on your book writing journey. Whether you're a first-time author or have many books out in the world, my hope is that you will find something here to inspire you. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Unbound Writers Club. It's Nicola here, and today we are talking audiobooks. I am joined by one of the magical Unbound Press authors, Yolandi Boshoff, author of the Starseed Sacred Circle, which came out back in 2021, actually. But Yolandi has just recorded an audio version of this book. And I wanted to speak to her about it because I know it's something a lot of authors or prospective authors think about, creating an audiobook. It's something that we offer at the Unbound Press, like to support our authors with this. And we have wanted to simplify the process to make it as easy as possible for our authors to record an audiobook. And that's the process that Yolandi has been through recently. She's been a complete rock star. Our very own Jo Gifford, who's one of our authors and one of our team members, she oversees the process. But actually, what we have invited our authors to do now is to work more directly with the sound engineer that we use for this very podcast, and also to help our authors create audiobooks, Zinovi, who's actually based in Ukraine. So, like I said, I wanted to have a chat with Yolandi about how the process was, why she wanted to create an audio version. So we dive into that, like the importance of sharing our voices. And, you know, if you have been thinking about creating an audio version of your book, or if you're writing a book and you're curious about like how you might do that for yourself once your book is out in the world, I think you're going to really enjoy this conversation, along with all of the usual Yolandi magic, talking about starseeds and also the kind of new direction that her work is taking her in. Anyway, that's enough of me. Let's dive in and see what Yolandi has to share with us. So, Yolandi, welcome back to the Unbound Writers Club.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to chat today.
Oh, me too. Me too. We were just saying it's been a while and I always love our conversations. But, you know, I always begin these particular conversations with the same question. And I know I've asked you it before a couple of times now, but I'm interested to see what it means to you, like right now in this moment. What does it mean to you to be an unbound writer?
Oh man, I feel like it's always a process, isn't it? Like from the first time we spoke, and it was that like really stepping into the space and expressing my voice and all of that. And at the moment, like an unbound writer just feels like a beautiful journey into like deeper into myself, deeper into my heart. With all of the bullshit that I've let go over the last few years since I wrote that book, even. So
Mm.
it just feels like an expansive process. And it's just the fact that there's no limits to what we get to share with the world and express and experience is just, it just feels absolutely magical to me. So,
Oh,
yeah, that's what it is.
fantastic, fantastic. You mentioned your voice there. And,
Yeah.
obviously today we're talking about the audio version of the
Yeah.
Starseed Sacred Circle. Like it feels like there's something really important around voice, like the actual spoken voice at the moment. But before we dive into that, for those who haven't read your book or don't know anything about it, can you just give us like a brief kind of overview of what the book is?
Yes. So basically, the book is about my own journey through judgment and like really getting to the truth of who I am, like unraveling like the patriarchy and myself, and really like trying to understand, that deeper connection between where my judgments came from and like just to basically set myself free. And so when I wrote the book, I wrote a lot about my own journey, having like gone through learning about the Akashics, learning about star seeds, etc. And I really, in the book, focus very much on my journey with the star beings and how they also guided me to find my own voice again and to take all of the judgment out of being this super weirdo person that I am. So it basically taught me to embrace all of my weirdness, and I got to put that into a book. And it's really just about like, if we let go of that judgment, how we set ourselves free and how we literally like prepare ourselves for the next phase of our life. And having written that book, I can see now how I literally have gone through that process, and that set me up for even more beautiful things in my life because I'm not walking in that space of judgment anymore.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. I love it when that happens. Well, it always happens actually. Like we write our books and we think, oh, that's good, that's done. And then it just opens the way for like so much more and whatever's next. And for us to kind of anchor more deeply into who we're here to be in the world,
Yeah.
really. I really, really feel that with you. So why did you want to create an audio version of the book?
Well, I mean, I've been meeting a lot of new people this year because I've been traveling a lot. And the first thing they do is like, oh, have you got an audio version? And I'd be like, no. And then I was like, it had been niggling me for quite a while. But then I was like, okay, cool. This can't be that hard. I know you guys will help me and like guide me to the best possible solution. And yeah, so I think it was basically the request from everyone. But when I did it, it actually became like that was my voice. Now I know when a lot of people who read my book said when I read the book I could hear you speak.
Mm.
And I thought that was really cool because they immediately associated my voice with the book. So now putting it into an audiobook, like my real voice behind this, because this is what I sound like with my weird accent and all that good stuff, it was very liberating to do it. It was just like a bit of a reclamation of my own voice, because sometimes we hide behind our words and we don't actually have our full expression of our voice. And I was just like, it was actually just reading it, I was like, fuck, some of this stuff is so cool. It's amazing. I wrote this. And like you reading your own book. And so yeah, it was a real reclamation of my own wisdom, basically.
I love that. I love that. I feel like you get to connect with your own words in a different way when you read them out loud. I find that in the mastermind, the Unbound Writing Mastermind, we have show up and share sessions. And when people read their own words, it's like something happens. They're like, oh, and the response to it, it's so different to just like seeing the words on a page or on a screen or something. Like energetically, it's so
Yes.
powerful.
And you know what, now that you say that, I remember the first time I'd gone on this retreat, and this woman came to the retreat and she was starting to teach us how to write. And I'd never written anything. But I mean, I kind of like wrote stuff, but then, you know, nothing like profound or whatever. And she said, okay, just write about this theme. And I wrote this thing. And then she's like, okay, read it to everyone in the room. And as I'm reading it, like people started crying, and I'm like, oh, no. And I mean, that, like, I didn't realize how powerful my words could be. And just seeing their reaction to my voice reading my words, it was like, so there's definitely something in us like speaking our words out. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I just got chills you saying that.
It's a big, because I just remember that. I'm like, that was so profound for me, because I'm like, this has impact. It like touches people. And when they heard it from my mouth, that was the thing, right?
Well, yeah. And you mentioned, like, you know, the book, you know, a big theme in it is the patriarchy, obviously. And I feel like this is another layer of the patriarchy. It's not just about like expressing our words in writing, but actually so many of us carry wounding around our voices, and actually speaking our words and expressing ourselves that way. So, you know, you actually doing that with your audiobook, and other people, other women in particular, hearing that spoken word of another woman, I feel is really kind of helps us to start to unbind from another layer of the patriarchy.
Oh, totally. And I mean, it's something we haven't had for so many thousands of years, right? Like that ability to really just speak up. Because every time we did, there was always something that stopped us. And now we have these platforms, right? And it's just like the access points, they just like these portals that people can get to all the time now. And there's nothing stopping us from inspiring other people to step into this space.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So what was the actual like practical process of it like for you, Yolandi? Because we had a quick conversation before I hit record, and you were like, oh yeah, it's quite easy. It was easy.
And it really was. I mean, I thought it was quite daunting when I started, because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then, you know, Jo, in her beautiful fashion, she just calms you down and goes, okay, listen, babe, this and this and this. So it was really lovely, because she gave me like a set of instructions, and then obviously put me in touch with Zenovi, and he basically helped me to look at my equipment. So that was really nice. So he literally, because I've got podcasting equipment, which I have no idea how to use properly because I don't read manuals. So I was literally sending the poor guy photos. And then he was like, okay, adjust those levels, do this, do that. And so he was really helpful. So we got, you know, all the sound sorted out, and he explained to me what the room should look like and all that stuff. And then we just recorded it into Audacity, which is a free software, which was really easy. And then basically what we did is I would put it onto Google Drive. He would download it his side, listen to my waffling and like all my mistakes and everything, chop it all up and put it into a neat little package. So that was really nice. And we did it in a very nice and structured way, where we recorded each chapter and he'd go through it. And then he would also give me some really good tips as to my breathing and how fast I'm reading and how slow. But yeah, I felt it was really nice, because I also knew that I didn't have to have it perfect, right? Like I could go and fumble my words and then, oh no, okay, listen, just re-record, redo. And then so, you know, it was really nice because there was no pressure either. So it was just so easy. And then he did his magic. And when we had to upload it, I was a bit nervous about that. So I messaged Jo and I'm like, okay, I've recorded all the stuff. So I've done the first step. So now I have to upload it. And then she was just like, okay, well, it's really, really very intuitive. And it was extremely intuitive. So, you know, just some of the things that I learned was about like doing a proper introduction, remembering to say the end at the end of your book, because they're very adamant about you saying the end. And you know, so it was really easy. You just upload the files, and then they were very helpful, I think, at ACX that I used. And it basically went onto Audible like a few weeks later, and it was really, really easy. So I pressed a few buttons and voila, my book's up there. So
Amazing.
I was like blown away. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. So yeah, it was super easy, the technical side.
That's so good to hear. So good to hear. How long did it take you roughly to actually like physically record it?
Oh, it wasn't that long. I'm trying to think now. I mean, I would spend like, an hour recording here and an hour recording there. I think the whole book ended up, so it was a 35,000 page book. It was 3 hours, 50 minutes, that the recordings were.
Yeah.
And I'd say if I spent 10 hours recording, it would have been a lot. So yeah. So it was really, I don't even think I spent that much time recording it. And then it was obviously for Zenobi to listen through all of the content and then cut it and like do all his magic and put all the levels right and stuff.
That's
so yeah,
fantastic. We were just
it was
saying,
ridiculously easy. I'm just going to say that.
So if you're listening and you want to create an audio version, I know that I was going to say should, but it's been on the list for a long time, creating audio versions of my books, and I've always thought, oh, it's going to take too long, but actually it's really inspiring listening to you. And I think sometimes people imagine that they'll have to book a studio and go in and do, and of course you can do it that way, but you can do it all at home. You don't need lots of fancy equipment. You can do it, like DIY it, like pretty easy.
Exactly. And I mean, like, I've had friends who've recorded as well, and they literally just go climb in a cupboard with like a recording mic and do it. Right? It doesn't have to be complicated. So I think that's the nice thing. And I mean, the tips that Joe gave me, like the instructions, and the tips that Zenobi gave me were really helpful as well. So I literally had like step-by-step guides on how to do things. So that really helped as well. So it was a really nice process.
Yeah, it's always so much easier if you've got someone holding space for you, isn't it? Like, that's always the message. It's like, let somebody help. Don't try.
And I think it's just like it's like so much easier than you think, because I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be so hard, and it was just amazing. Like once I started, I was like, what? I can do this anytime. This is like, so yeah, I just think getting out of that fear, because we don't know the technology and we don't know that. It's just like, if you just move through that hurdle and someone's there to give you the instructions, then you just go.
Yeah. And what's it like for you now that the audio version is out there in the world? Have you had any feedback so far, or?
Well, I haven't had feedback yet, but I mean, it's really, what I can say, what I love about it is that I've now got an Insta Reel capability, right? Because what I'm doing with all of these snippets out of my book is I'm taking my voice and I'm sticking them into Reels. So from a marketing perspective, it's absolutely epic, because it's my voice reading my book and like putting it out there. And there's some, and what I literally, I mean, this is a bit weird, but this is how I roll. Like, I will sit with my book and I'll just open up my book and see what wisdom is on the page. Then I'll quickly go into the recording, I'll snip it and I'll stick it on a video. And I'm like, oh, cool, my marketing for the week's done. So, I mean, it's like little things like that. Now I've got this, and like I can just keep sharing it. So it's really a nice little way of also getting more, airtime for my voice out there.
I hadn't thought of that, actually. That's genius. I've
got clever ideas because I'm lazy.
And of course, that's what it's all about really now, isn't it? Like Reels, like the short kind of videos, spoken word. I do feel like we're all like books. I love books, obviously. They're so important and powerful. But also, I feel like we're being called into deeper connection, like, with our own voices, with each other, and that happens through the spoken word and kind of being in connection in that way. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. And it's really, I'm just so grateful that I did it. It's one of those things that I've always thought, oh, I want to do it, and voila, there it is, right? It was just, it was a beautiful process. I'm very grateful for the help I got from you guys. So it's awesome.
Oh, well, we're grateful to you for doing it, because it can feel like a big it is a substantial project, and it's just amazing that you've been through it and now you're sharing about it, and hopefully that will inspire others to do the same. Even if their book isn't out in the world yet, it's great to think, oh, okay, I can create an audio version of it as well. So obviously that is doing its thing, Starseed Sacred Circle. And you alluded to kind of earlier on in our conversation that since the book was released, you know, things are changing for you. What's going on in the world of Yolandi at the moment, if you can put it into words? What are you feeling called
Yeah.
to?
So it's very interesting for me. I think, you know, a lot of my work has been focused on, in the beginning, was focused on working with the star seeds, because I write so much about it in the book, and that's kind of like where my whole journey started with the stars and everything. But in the book, I start to speak about the connection with Earth, and part of the Starseed Sacred Circle process is basically we start off with the Earth. So what I've done now since the book's come out is I've deepened my experience with the Earth. So I think in true Yolandi fashion, I kind of do things upside down always. So I'm now descending back into connecting with the Great Mother, with Earth, with all of the energies here. And I've basically started working a lot more with sacred sites and really understanding the Earth energies, and just to really start awakening that connection with the Earth again, because it's like the Earth is this amazing portal back to our divinity that we bypass all the time, right? Like we all want to go up into the stars, we all want to expand our consciousness, all of that, but we forget that she is a portal way, she is a gateway, she is literally like this. Yeah, we walk through her to get to all of these things, right? And as a starseed, you forget that because you just fly in here and you're like, yeah, I want to change the world and I want to help everyone. And you don't understand, right? Like you don't connect deeply with her. So yeah, so the last few years have really been for me about this deep connection with her, exploring more sacred sites across the world to understand like what's the energetic messages that she's got, what does she want to teach us, all that type of stuff. So my work is really shifting more into that space of helping people to awaken that ancient wisdom that is under our feet, that is right under our feet right here, and for us to like delve into that and start utilizing that wisdom to bring everyone into that space of reconnecting with the Earth. And in turn, that's how we change the world, is by us remembering that deep connection with her.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Just yes.
Yeah, basically that's where I'm at.
Well, you know, it did seem like for a period of time that it was all about going up and out and everything, you know, cosmic, like amazing, like totally here for that. And, you know, we were forgetting what's here, right here under our feet. And there's a reason that we're all here at this time, like on this planet. So I love that, you know, your work is evolving or has been evolving in this way. It feels so powerful, and that you're able to kind of hold like both of those aspects of connection, like with the cosmos and the stars, and also with the Earth. It feels like the same ways that we have bypassed the Earth are the same ways we bypass like our own bodies as well. And
Yes.
so it feels incredibly powerful. Do you feel like there might be another book, Lanty? I have to ask.
So I feel like I'm in the middle of like understanding like more, like I think the way that I write is that I learn and I experience and then I share. So at the moment I'm so deep in this process of discovering her again and my connection and like sharing that and all of that, that I think there will come a point where I'll go, oh, now I get it. And I can basically take this journey over the last few years and go, let me talk about that now. And because my brain works in processes and stuff, like I'm pretty sure there'll be some kind of like way that I figure out how to activate all these beautiful energies and stuff. So, you know, because I'm going through this process now, but I feel like at the moment, I'm building my puzzle still. So, and once I've finished my puzzle, I can put it into a book. And then there'll probably be 100 other things I learn while I'm writing it.
Exactly.
But I truly believe I will know. And I know there's more books to come. It won't just be me and the Earth making a little journey. I think there'll be many more things to come. So yeah, definitely.
No pressure, you know.
No, deconditioning myself from patriarchal structure and timelines.
Totally. And I just love how you are being with the not knowing and just allowing yourself to be guided and trusting that, trusting the steps and that they're taking, the different pieces of the puzzle. It's such a beautiful way to describe it, because I feel like when we allow ourselves, like, that's how we're not just our books, but how, what we're here to do in the world becomes clear. We just have to trust, even if it doesn't make sense at a particular time, that the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place.
No, exactly. And then I think it's that thing, right? That trust thing, because I think when you get to the space where, like, where I am right now, is I'm very clear about what I'm meant to be doing here in the world. I know I'm meant to be teaching people and all of that, and it comes in different flavors and shapes and forms. And so I just trust that, like that inner knowing, that guidance, that vision within myself. That's what I hold on to, and I just allow myself to be guided towards however that wants to unfold, and just trusting that, knowing that that is really my purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so inspiring to witness. I personally, just every time we speak, like we were saying, we just dive straight in. It's like, what's going on? Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm so grateful that you're part of the Unbound Press family, and that, we're on this journey together. And for those listening, Yolandi, who want to keep in touch, who maybe want to get the audio version of the book, and also, keep updated with your work and like direction that it's moving in, what's the best way for them to do that, to connect with you?
So probably going to my website, so just divinesoul.me, and then I'm also on Instagram, so you can follow me there. I share a lot of videos over there of things that I channel and like that I bring through and all that good stuff, and a lot of my the retreats that I'm leading coming up in the next year. And so just the website's good, and then follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and there's always goodies there, so I'll always be around chatting over there.
Yeah, exactly. And if you connect with Yolandi on Instagram, you'll get to see all of these amazing reels that she's creating as well. So
yay, audiobook.
If you write a book, you never run out of content. That is the amazing thing, in one way or another. So love that.
Yeah,
love that.
It's inevitably magic.
It is. Thank you so much, Yolandi, for having this conversation today. I know a lot of people are curious about the audiobook side of things, so it's really great to hear your experience of that. And I look forward to welcoming you back at some point, whenever it is in the future, when the next book materializes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and it was lovely to speak to you, and just go and do your audiobooks. It's really it's super easy and it's fabulous. Share your voice. So yeah.
Amazing. Thanks, Yolandi. Oh my goddess, wasn't that amazing to hear from those magical beings who already know they want to be part of the Sensual Soul Shine collaborative book, like really tuning into what sensuality means to them and why this book feels important to them. And if you were feeling at all the same, then obviously Carrie and I would love you to be part of the book. We will put a link to the invitation page in the show notes so that you can have a look at that. And you're very welcome to either DM myself or Carrie to find out some more, ask any questions. We have also put together a PDF of special prompts for Sensual September that is available freely to you if you want to explore sensuality just for yourself, or you are curious about being part of the book and would like some inspiration. So you can sign up for that at theunboundpress.com/sensual soulshine. And we are also co-hosting a group writing session. Again, you will find the details of that. It's free for you to join on that same page, theunboundpress.com/sensual soulshine. So there's lots of ways for you to get involved. And what we want you to know is you get to find your way with this. There's no right way to do it. If you just want to explore the idea of sensuality, sensual soul shine for yourself personally, fantastic. We have those journal prompts for you. You can come and write with us. There's no obligation to kind of step into the full process of being part of the book. But if you are feeling the call to be part of this, to be part of this circle of writers, to be part of this magical book, which really is, I think Carrie used the word powerful a number of times during our conversation, but I can really feel the potency of this book. If you're feeling called to be part of it, we would love, love, love to hear from you. So all of the details you need, like I said, are on the unboundpress.com/essential soulshine. Oh my goodness. I need to get my tips, my teeth and my tongue around those words. Yeah. But here's to having Essential September. Thank you for listening today. And we'll be back again soon with another episode of the Unbound Writers Club.